Hi folks, hope you're all good. A quick video about the underpopulation problem, or the problem of people not having enough kids. So, most of my life, the problem was supposed to be overpopulation. I know in the 1970s, it was a bit before my time, but it was really popular to talk about humans starving to death because of overpopulation. But that was still going and connected with the climate change thing as well. So certainly, even 10 or 20 years ago, I was still thinking in terms of overpopulation being a problem, given that the carbon footprint caused by each new person and so on. Even on a personal note, I was prepared to not have kids for that reason, really. So I did end up having kids anyway. But in the last few years, the sort of videos I watch, like Kyrgyzstan videos on YouTube and people like that, they're all talking about underpopulation now. So the problem there is that we're gonna have far too many old people, and we're gonna have to work hard or something, or have trouble looking after them, I guess. And is that the main problem? I think that's the main problem they're talking about. Anyway, I'd like to sort of kick back against that. Really, I think that it's a tricky moral problem with no real sort of definitive answer. But I think I'm still more worried about overpopulation, I guess. So I don't see why. I think the point is technology and AI and all that is all going to get so advanced that I just don't think we're going to have any problems feeding all these old people or working. We're just going to be able to work much less anyway, and I don't think it's bad enough a problem, and it's reasonably slow acting as well. So I don't really mind reproduction or fertility or whatever it is falling off a cliff. I think if I was running the world, or the world was taking my recommendations on economics, I think we'd be really much more generous to young parents and parents of young children anyway, and to the young children themselves. So I think we'd be so generous that I think fertility would probably go up in my kind of world. I'm talking about giving people 5 years off when they have a kid, maybe mother and father. That's sort of really generous stuff. I'm paying kids proper salaries to like go to school, and you can look at my other videos for these things. Having basically everyone paid the same from birth, if they don't, as long as they do a reasonable effort, and we'll count a baby as making a reasonable effort to grow or whatever, drink milk or whatever, learn stuff, whatever it needs to do, especially when it starts school and so on. So also, I'm not a huge fan of like preschool and childcare and all that. I think it's probably more natural if the parents are just given enough time to do that. Don't they want to do that? We need more community. My suggestion of having micro communities of 100 people working, living together, that would bring back the village kind of thing. And we need to get rid. Loneliness is a huge problem. There's lots of older, lonely people. They can help with childcare. They want to help with childcare. We just need to rebuild communities and I'm happy to pay people to do this as well. So, um, all of that will bring up fertility. But to go back to the question itself, I don't really see fertility as a good thing. I mean, it comes down to a sort of fundamental sort of moral thing. Like, if I had to live all the lives of humans going to be born, how many human lives do I really want to live? And we've got billions of humans. We've got more than I'd want to live. So the point is, imagine you had to live life after life after life. A lot of these lives just end up doing a lot of the same things, but pain is something you're gonna pain is always a bad thing, whereas I think good things if they're on repeat, they don't have this quite the same value. There's not much point in just experiencing pleasure forever, I think. So there's this asymmetry I've talked about in other videos before, which leads you to negative utilitarianism and all that, and wanting to blow up the world and all that. But I'll leave that aside for a moment. But basically, I think, as I said, I'd rather make lives better than have more and more lives. So I think we should focus on quality of life rather than quantity. I think quantity does possibly become a negative if you get over like thousands of lives, but we're way beyond that. There's like an obscene number of lives being created and going on. So those are my two reasons. Basically, I think the technology is going to go up and up so fast that any of these practical problems just aren't really a problem. And I think that, as I said, I think there are an obscene number of lives from a purely ethical point of view. I can't prove that. There's no right and wrong to it, really. It's just how I feel about this kind of stuff. And therefore, holding back a bit on having quite so many millions of people seems like, on balance, a good thing. So all the best.